when I was told by the medical team, oh, Emily, this is, you've essentially, you've got this mass, you've got you've got a child who's X amount of years old. Do you want to make a choice? Do you want treatment? What are we going to do? How are we going to get you? It was very medical based, and that was wonderful. However, there was an element of the emotional aspect of hearing the diagnosis, of hearing it essentially just broke me, and I was just shattered, absolutely shattered. And I recall driving home and sobbing on driving behind the wheel of the car, sobbing, just crying, thinking, as the realization hit of, I am not who I am. I am not this person. I am not this identity. But I need to create something else. Who am I then? Who is Emily? Who are you? So from the tears and just sobbing behind the wheel and trying to drive on the freeway and navigate the different lanes, and then your mind is just racing as you realize, well, this is the finale. This is it. This could be it. And there's a death that takes place, and while it's not a physical death, it's a death of the soul, or it's a death of your identity or yourself, that at that moment in time, in that space. And what then begins to happen is you go through the anger. I went through anger. I went through the phase of feeling loss. I went through the back again to anger. I felt shame. I felt many different types of emotions. Grief over the life that I would never ever have. Grief over the experiences that I would never ever have. Shame about, well, how will others look at me? Shame about my physical body. Shame about different cultural norms, I guess. Would I ever wear a bathing suit again? How will I do that? But also, well, anger at the medical profession. How dare they tell me what to do? How dare they give me a timeline about when my life will, or what my life expectancy is. So you sort of vacillate between different points, and that all happens in that void. That all happens in the void. And it's a fight. It's like a battle between your reality as you know it, as you constructed it, versus the reality between what somebody, what the medical team is sort of envisaging will happen, based on their experiences. And then, of course, when you step and expand outside of that, you realise, because time and space and reality are, it's infinite.
Yes.
You go back to that point where we go back into the heart and realise, well, who am I? And there is you're just an essence, if you like. You're an essence. And when you come to that point, that's the space that you need to be, number one, listening to your heart, because from there you realise, I am much bigger than the diagnosis. I am much bigger than the identity that I've constructed for X amount of years. I am much bigger. And then it becomes, well, who am I? You know, and that can only take place after you have it's like a breakdown. It's like a complete sort of emotional, mental, physical breakdown where you realize, well, who am I? You know, who am I? And that comes, and that's where the stepping into the void is so powerful. Is so powerful because you connect back to the true nature of who you are, which is not limited to a physical body, which is not limited to our physical senses, but we are something much, much greater than.